Hello, and welcome to Let My People Eat, a podcast that provides satisfying talk about kosher nutrition. Here we clear through the clutter of nutrition speak, arm you with the clarity and confidence to eat, feel, and be your healthiest every day. I am Jill Sharfman, a board-certified holistic nutritionist living in Los Angeles.
And I'm Dr. Andrea Moskowitz, a neuroscientist and psychiatrist in Los Angeles. I use my training and experience to integrate positive lifestyle changes into my patients' lives.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Jill. How's it going?
It's going very well. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you feel your age?
Do I feel my age?
Yes.
You know what? Like 2 years ago, I got a great T-shirt, and it says, "This is what 60 looks like." So I don't know what it's because right now I'm 61 and a half.
Right.
And I don't know what that's supposed to feel like. I think I really, in some ways, I don't feel like my conception of it.
Right.
But as I have this quote from someone, you know, old age is your current age plus 20.
Old age
is your current age plus 20.
Okay. I got it. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It's like I feel who I am.
Right.
And I'm not. And as I get older, I don't think of the numbers anymore. I actually just kind of think it's almost amusing because, well, you know how active I am.
Right. I'm saying, and you've made a big change in your life in the last, let's say, 5 years. So maybe if you hadn't made those changes, you might feel more like a 61-year-old than you do now.
Or I might feel like a 71-year-old or 75-year-old or whatever that's supposed to feel like. I don't. It's you know, it's just a number.
Yeah,
I really do believe that now.
Right.
As I get older,
I don't feel my age. It's sometimes shocking to me when I think about how, like, the number.
Yeah.
We'll just keep to ourselves right now.
Yeah.
But it's just
okay.
You said yours.
Mine is all out there in the wind now.
It's really. It's really surprising.
Yeah. But, you know, I remember when I was like about 17 or 18, I did a calculation as to how old I would be in the year 2001. Remember 2001 Space Odyssey?
Yep.
So I did a calculation and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be whatever. I don't even remember. It was like 42 or something like, oh, that's
so today's guest that we have with us. I think she really challenges the notion of age, and we're going to talk to her, ushering in a new era of bite-sized, livable health, nutrition, and fitness solutions. Patricia Greenberg, the Fitness Gourmet, has 30 years of experience as a nutritionist, chef, and wellness educator. Still going strong at 58. She lives a healthy lifestyle in an often chaotic world through good food and attainable fitness. Patricia has completed 20 marathons.
Oh, whoa.
You're going to have to talk to her.
Yes,
and
I am.
115 half marathons, both in the U.S. and internationally. She's the author of 4 books, the most current being Eat Well, Live Well, and Age Well. Hey, Patricia.
Hey, ladies. So
hey,
nice
Patricia.
to see you.
It's so nice to have you here today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your story and why you wrote this new book about aging well, which is almost like aging for dummies. I hope that's not.
It is and it isn't. Well, couple of things. I'll start back. I was a late bloomer in absolutely everything that I did, and I just want to also mention it's kind of like what Andrea. I'm echoing what you said earlier. We all know each other for many, many years, and you don't think about it like. Jill and I met in passing through our kids at school. I knew Andrea through some mutual friends and, of course, our community. Right. And when I see you, it's like, how many years is it? I can't wrap my head around it. So I was a chubby, unathletic child, and I grew up, classic upbringing. My mother made a lot of, in those days, frozen TV dinners and Swanson frozen dinners, and all of the inconveniences that the 60s and 70s threw at us with from margarine to frozen food, etc. And I remember being in my teens and wanting to make a change in my life and not really knowing how. I developed very young, which was a consideration. So I look like I do now at 12 or 13. And so the boys made fun of me. So, I endured the nickname Fatty Patty throughout high school.
Oh.
And even though I wasn't that fat, I was just developed, and that was unusual for that time.
Right.
Kids were very thin then. It's a very different world now,
Yes,
unfortunately. And so over the years, I just went on a quest, and I was going to college to become a dentist, and I had to take pre-med. So I majored in pre-med, and they said, well, you have to take a home ec course before you graduate. That's
really?
how old I am. I think the 30 years of experience is the dead giveaway here.
Yeah.
And so I took a home ec class, I took a nutrition course, fell in love, and switched my major. And that's how the nutrition and fitness quest started. I worked as a hospital dietitian, worked my way through restaurants, teaching, so forth, made my way to LA by teaching nutrition to culinary arts students. So that was kind of the marriage of food, wellness, and then my own fitness quest. I was laying on the couch one day on a Sunday, and I saw the ad to run the LA Marathon. I thought, well, I eat really well, and I go to the gym 3 days a week. I can run a marathon. I didn't know what I was getting into. I did it. I said, I'm never doing it again. A friend lured me into another one, and here we are today, 20 marathons later.
Wow.
That's great.
So the book has been in the making, obviously, my whole life, like everything else. But this actual book has been really in the works for about 18 years. I got married at 37 and I had my first child at 40. And I really didn't have a sense of what to do. I felt like I was 20. So from 40 to 50, I had a little kid in elementary school. I wasn't necessarily relating to the other mothers, but I was doing my best to fit in. And I was also working. I was hosting a radio show. I was doing a lot of television on wellness and health. And so I tried to never fully stay home and never tried to be working. So I was managing that whole issue of family and taking care of oneself, which is so difficult. No matter how much the resources you have, I always say, no matter how big your house or your bank account, this is a hard thing to do. And you have to do it with joy and happiness, because that's when you're going to have, when you get older and look back and say, I should have spent more time being happy, right? That's really the crux of it. Yeah. So I embarked on taking notes, doing research, and that became a full-time job in itself with all that I was doing, not realizing that I was aging too. I was just looking around me. My husband's 14 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And at one point, at the height of this, when I wrote my last cookbook, which is geared towards how to feed the whole family, I had my mother-in-law in the house. She lived to be 101.
Oh.
I had my husband at 70. I'm in my 50s. I have a stepson in his early 40s, and my daughter was a teenager, and we had 3 dogs. Could you imagine a 100-year-old and a 14-year-old and trying to feed them?
Yes.
So that's where we came up with this idea that no matter what age you are, which brings me back to square one,
Right.
throughout the life cycle, is it's really all the same. We have this conception, oh, it's a kid. Just give the kid hamburgers and French fries, and the adults will eat a salad and cottage cheese because mommy's on a diet again. The whole family, the whole society, the whole community, I know I sound hippy-dippy, but everybody should be involved in the wellness from beginning, the whole course of the life cycle.
That was actually one of the questions I had for you, because going through your book, it seems like a lot of the advice, the health and nutrition exercise piece of it, at least not the estate planning part of it, could and should apply. It's not like, oh my gosh, I turned 50, I better start taking care of myself now.
Right.
It's like, if you start getting these good habits in early,
Right.
and that will make the transition to old age easier. So I'm glad you brought that up.
The key things is that I discuss extensively. The book is close to 300 pages, so there's not enough time in the day ever to talk about everything we want to talk about. But I tried to stay away from that magazine format and that quick fix format.
Yeah.
And everything you see on social media is, lose 40 pounds in 40 days, or just lift weights five minutes a day, 3 days a week, and you will look like Arnold Schwarzenegger did when he was 20. I really, and the book even looks earthy. The whole quality of it is that it gets back to being consistent.
Right.
Sufficient sleep. Now, you're always trying to get your kids to go to sleep properly.
Right.
You try to get your teenagers to go to sleep properly. You try to get older people to go to sleep properly. That's like a key ingredient. You all know that in your wellness,
Right.
your anti-inflammation, your digestion, sleeping. Most important for me, the crux is you really have to embrace your age. I almost called the book Act Your Age. Because we were little, that was a derogatory term thrown at you because you weren't behaving properly. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself because, and again, I'm just an example. I'm 58 and a half, 3/4. I'm almost 59. So I always joke I'm dangerously close to 60, but I'm so thrilled that I will be turning 60. I'm so looking forward to being 70 and 80 and God willing 90 and please 100 if I can. Okay. Because I believe being here is better than anything else.
Right.
Okay. Being there for yourself as well as your family. So life begins when you live it. So wherever you are today, whatever age you are today, just embrace it and be honest. So I'm 58. I'm 5'2". I actually lost a ½ inch already. And I'm very athletic. You know from my background.
Right.
So there's a reality in age of getting smaller. I developed, devastating to me, hip arthritis to the point where the doctor said, no longer running, we want you just walking. Well, I can live with that. But I want to tell you, quite honestly, I was diagnosed in May with hip arthritis that seemed to come out of nowhere. And I went into a deep funk, almost a depression for May till just now. I couldn't work out. What do you mean I can't run? I can't throw my shoes out and run out the door. I would find every reason in the world to go do that. And I do travel runs and all this kind of stuff. And eating perfectly. No alcohol, no white bread, salads, cruciferous vegetables. I was on the cruciferous bandwagon long before. I always laugh because we have paleo and and Atkins and everything. Do you guys remember Dr. Tarnower in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
Right. To me, he's the original paleo guy because he said, stop eating so much bread.
Right. There's nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun now.
So I followed that course for so many years and stayed so fit and just right. And I was losing some of my happiness in the process of that. Not because I felt like I'd be happier if I ate a bag of chips or went to a fast food. I was so focused on it. So let's talk about the balance of that.
Right.
Sufficient sleep. What is eating well and eating healthy? It means different things to different people. But if you stop sugar, candies, cookies, white bread, and overeating and highly salted foods, you're 90% of the way there. That is 100% is to just stay away from as much processed food as possible. Right. And when you're standing, I also want to mention that food isn't good or bad, it's food.
Right.
So many people say, oh, Pat, I was bad today. I ate cookies. I went to a party and I had an extra piece of cake. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Right.
So let's go back inside ourselves. Where are you today? Know your height, your weight. Get to a doctor. Get all of your vitals checked. Get your blood sugars, your cholesterol, your weight, your height, your resting heart rate, and write it down. I'm walking down the street and people will say to me, my cholesterol's high. I don't know what to eat. Well, what is it? I don't know. They just told me it was high.
Right.
Get yourself informed about your own body. You are not a hypochondriac if you go to the physician often. I've been accused of that. But if something's a little off, I pay attention. So the wellness aspect is number one, you can't do anything without a baseline. That's your baseline. Okay. Second thing is making choices. Let's not call them good or bad. Making choices that make you feel better is really what the key is. So the food tips I like to give out is eating as much vegetables and fruit as possible. I know this is such old school and almost nobody wants to hear it.
There's nothing new under the sun.
I can't emphasize enough. I don't care what magazine you pick up, what new diet plan you pick up. It all comes down to eliminating those things. Right. And try to just be in today. What can you do today?
Right.
So today, I can give you a sample breakfast. I will often have, I'll cut up an orange and a peach. By the way, headline news, fruit is not bad for you.
Right.
Bananas aren't bad for you.
Thank you.
Eating a peach will not make you a diabetic. I don't know where this information comes from.
I think it's because people just look at sugar content, but they don't also take into consideration fiber and other nutrients that you're getting in the food.
Right.
Eating a peach is not the same thing as eating a candy bar.
That's 100% correct. And even Stephen, on the calories, you're getting so much more nutritional value.
Right.
Lunch, I'll take a bag of cruciferous.
So I'm sorry, you only eat fruit for
it's not that I only eat fruit. I'll have fruit. I'll have a hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
I'm not so anti-cheese, but I don't think you should eat a lot of it.
Right.
So I will have a little bit old school, but I'll have a scoop of cottage cheese with a peach, cut up an orange, I will, my husband loves to have eggs for breakfast, so I will make him some eggs with extra protein, maybe some soy, some tofu or sausage. Right. And then I will have sprouted wheat toast with it, let's say. That's a big hearty breakfast. Will keep you full, and it's a good breakfast. Yeah. If you want to put spread on it, you want to put jams and jellies, just use a little bit on top. That's fine. Lunch, I have to say I have an edge because I'm a professionally trained chef and nutritionist. It's a real double whammy for me. But I will just pour a bag of mixed salad, open up a can of tuna fish, pour it on top, sprinkle olive oil on it. And if I feel like a little bread, I'll have a wheat rice cake. I'll have a sprouted bagel. I happen to love olive bread. I'll have a little side of it. I feel so full from that.
Right.
Years ago, when I would eat something fast food or something quick or something fried, I'd be starving the rest of the day.
Do you not eat then in between your breakfast, lunch? I mean, and do you eat breakfast early, or is it?
These are all good questions, and again, it's very individual.
Right.
I eat when I can. So I like to work out on an empty stomach. I will have, I got off caffeine altogether because I found that was making me wound up. So I have decaf. So I'll have a decaf coffee in the morning, sometimes a banana if I'm going to a very rigorous, hard workout. But if I'm just going to go for a walk around the neighborhood and knock out a 5K, I bring a big bottle of water with me, and I drink water all day long.
Talk about why you choose the banana, because I think people will want to know.
Yeah, people feel there's an anti-banana movement. You guys hearing about this? Yeah. Okay, again, it falls back in that fruit category. It's not ultra sweet, although I like them very ripe. I find it filling. I find it just right. No one in my house will eat the bananas with the brown spots. I'm like, okay, it's all mine. And it gives me just enough feeling of fullness to go out and function. I will also tell you that there's a cumulative effect. I walk 3 miles, so that's exactly a 5K, 3.1 miles. When I start to do 5 miles and 6 miles, that's when my blood sugar will drop and I feel like I need food. So a banana really comes in handy. Right. I don't believe in the sugared, the supplements that you take, the squeezies and all that while you're running, the gels. I like to just have a
Even
banana.
when you're doing a marathon?
When I do a marathon, I will take a Cliff Bar is a little too crunchy. Sometimes I take the Luna bars and I'll cut them in small pieces and I eat a little bit as I go rather than stop and eat. Right. But I have found, too, that I am way more fit and I feel better when I'm not doing marathons, when I do short distances more often. So which leads me into the fitness aspect is a little bit every day. My daughter moved to Israel 2 weeks ago. My stepson moved to New York a week ago. So my therapy has been cleaning out the house. It is scary what's under that bed after 18 years. So I have been getting so much exercise head to toe, cleaning out the house. I have before and after pictures that I'm going to show people on my social media because this gets back to another aspect of fitness is get up and do something you love. Okay, you keep hearing that. If you don't have access to a pool, maybe go to a gym or a local JCC or community center. And then if you're going to be doing weight training, that's a very, very good exercise. But a little bit more often is better than doing a long distance or a lot of work and then being so tired that you don't do anything for 3 days.
Right.
3-4 days.
That's true. Now it's time. We're going to take a quick ad break. Andrew, you know how much I love cookbooks.
Oh, I know.
I've
been to your house.
Yeah, I have quite a collection at home. I find them so inspiring. I love looking at the pictures, and I love just going back and getting ideas for menus. Yeah. I just find them so much fun. And Art Scroll just came out with a new cookbook.
They did?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as the world's largest publisher of Jewish books, Art Scroll Masorah is a household word in the Torah observant community. In addition to their Torah classics and popular books, Art Scroll revolutionized the world of Jewish cooking with their incredible collection of kosher cookbooks.
Their latest release is called Variations. It's by Daniela Silver. Daniela, an accomplished recipe developer and author of 2 other popular cookbooks, has created something very unique. Each recipe in Variations offers 2 creative presentations using the same basic ingredients, which I love that idea. By showing how recipes can be presented in different ways, she helps us unlock the creative cook within. Variations is innovative, it's creative, and so much fun.
So, to order Daniela's books and other wonderful cookbooks, you can order online at artscroll.com or visit your local Judaica store. Use the code, all caps, LMPE, and get 10% off your order, plus free shipping in the U.S.
Okay, so
Back to Patricia.
back to Patricia now. So I love also in the back of your book, the book that you have coming out, you have questions to ponder.
That's great.
It's like an exercise
Right.
for people to really sit down and think about what's working, what's not working, and to help them move forward. So do you want to talk about that
Yes.
part?
What I felt about that, the book has 10 chapters, so I jokingly call it 10 Steps to Aging Well. Aging well is you being happy as you age. And if you come to me and say, oh, I'm older now, my back is starting to hurt, and I feel like I need to sit down more. What's the first response people say? Oh, that person's not aging well. They're in pain. These are normal things about aging. So I wanted the questions in the back of the book about, what do you regret? What do you want to do forward? How do you feel about your life now? Do you have children and grandchildren that you can enjoy? Are there ways that you can spend more time with them and be with them? As you get older, do you have your stuff in order? And I know that sounds crazy when you don't, 30, 40, even 50, people don't want to talk about it. But if you do it right when you're well and you're healthy, as you get older, it's something you won't have to be worried about. And you don't want to be living in fear when you get older. There's enough things to be afraid of and enough things to be concerned about. So Jill's making a great point. This bank of questions is about what is it you want for your life now? What are you sad that you no longer will have? And you know what? Just learn there's things you can fulfill and follow your dreams at any age, maybe on a smaller scale, or maybe vicariously through a movie or a book. But there's ways of making yourself happy. But please, please know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know where you're at physiologically, your biological status of your body, and just use that as a guide to take you forward.
Yeah, that sounds great. You say in your prologue that we can stave off the ill effects of diminishing physical capacity through improved food choices, increased physical activity, medical intervention, reducing stress, and emotional behavioral change. The two things that come up over and over again were having positive mental attitude towards aging and developing a community of like-minded people to keep you youthful.
Yes.
So when you say the like-minded people?
So something I've done both in my own community and outside of my community is, first of all, to be gentle with people who aren't on board with you. Often we get angry, and I'm guilty of that. You want to kill your husband, and your kid. You want to scream at your kids for eating something or doing something that you deem unhealthy.
I've been known to stop people in the supermarket, which really embarrasses my children to no end.
And that we have to just say, you know what, everyone has their own path. But what I do is when I see an opportunity, I'm so happy to go to the park. Sometimes I go alone. My cousin comes with me often. She's in her 70s. She's not very fit, but she'll take the dog. So she'll go and walk the dog while I'm doing a run, and then we meet up at the end. So what I'm saying is find a buddy, find a friend, form a community. Just say to someone, you want to go for a walk? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you like to come with me? I'm going to try a new class. Or invite people over your house to do a swim in the backyard. It doesn't even have to be that structured. Just finding people around you. And when you find negativity coming at you, please note it's not anything you're doing. It's often someone's fear of jumping in and
making changes.
Right.
Yeah,
hard.
And it can be scary.
Yes.
Okay, great. So there was a lot of information there. You gave us our general overall. What would be your three very specific tips that you would give someone to just, starting on this journey, thinking about getting older and aging well?
Okay. The first thing I want everybody to do is to make a list, to sit down. Journaling works. A lot of people are resistant to do it. Make a list of everything you want for your life going forward. Second idea, just really quick, go in your kitchen, open the cabinets, clean it all out. Why am I suggesting that? Because you'll start to see what you might have 5 of the same type of spice in the back because somewhere you heard it was good for you, but you never got around to eating it, and it's probably rancid and ready to go. So go into your kitchen, go through your kitchen cabinet, your refrigerator, see what it is you keep, preferably making a food diary. Take 7 days, take 1 week, and write down, what is it that I really do eat? And once you have it in front of you, you can evaluate what it is you're having and what you may or may not want to eliminate. And with fitness, like I said, any movement is good. You've heard the old take the stairs and don't take the elevator and park far away.
Right.
More importantly, right inside your house, can you touch your toes? When you get up in the morning, are you in pain? Get on the floor, start stretching. I don't have to teach anybody. I don't have to give you any pictures. Everybody knows. Put your arms over your head, take a deep breath, bend over, touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, don't give up. Try every day to bend down a little bit further. Bend your knees. Hold on to the wall. Hold on to the chair, whatever it takes. Move your body in the most simplest ways. That will help you from having a lot of infirmities as you age.
Right. Yeah. My grandmother, who lived to almost 95, she would, and thank God, good health right up until the end, she would turn on the radio for 10 minutes every day, and she would just dance in her house. And that was kind of, she did a lot of housework. She did a lot of things like that, but she really, and she loved it. That was her, just that 10 minutes a day really, I think, helped her
very helpful.
Stay mobile and flexible and do
And it's helpful emotionally, too.
She was way ahead of her time because even when they're saying 30 minutes a day, if you do 10 minutes 3 times a day or 2 times a day, you're way ahead of the game.
You know who used to be really good for this? My mom used to do this all the time. And I think she lived till she was like in her late 80s. So she did it when she lived in New York and stuff like that. She would almost every day watch Jack LaLanne.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this?
Sure,
yes.
sure.
On television. Yeah. And, he lived till he was like in his late 90s.
Almost 100, yes.
100. And, I used to laugh kind of because it looked a little silly. But it kept her very active.
And my last thing I want to shout out is do not care what anybody thinks.
Right.
Okay, I can't say that enough. Yeah. You want to go out in your schleppy clothing and take a walk around the block? I don't care. I don't have any makeup on. I can't let anybody see me. Please let go of that.
Put on sunglasses.
Put on sunglasses and go do your thing.
Right. Okay. Great.
Also, to realize not that many people are watching you.
That's correct. Nobody really cares.
They care about themselves.
That's exactly
right. All
right.
right. Great. Thank you so much, Patricia. For more information and to purchase Patricia's books, you can go to thefitnessgourmet.com. You can find her on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Fitness Gourmet. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jill Scharfman. I want to thank our engineer here at the Network Studios, Mike Casantini.
Thank you.
So, Patricia, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Really, really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And that is it for this episode of Let My People Eat. Please visit our website at letmypeopleeat.com and leave us a comment. Get in touch at our email at podcast@letmypeopleeat.com or call us at 317-659-0004. Post on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook with the hashtag #LetMyPeopleEatPodcast. If you like this show, please make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Tell your friends and family and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts.
And please remember that although we are certified professionals, this is not a medical advice podcast. No content, posts, or comments should be interpreted as professional guidance. Always speak to your own health practitioner about making the right life changes for you.
Until next time, I am Jill Scharfman.
And I am Andrea Moskowitz.
Thanks for joining us.
And go in good health.